Maggie. I wanted to share with you guys. I am in Santa Fe, New Mexico. They have really beautiful nature trails all over this city. So this is just one. And it's so calming. You know what I mean? I just wanted to share. So, there are, in fact, a black people in Santa Fe. They are spread out. It's a certain type of black person. It's like a West Coast black. Uh, First day I met a black woman and her daughter. Daughter's biracial with Mexican, which makes sense with New Mexico. I also learned in New Mexico there's like there are people who are Spanish, but they're like people who were straight from Spain. They weren't like Mexican people who came here. It's like Spanish who mixed with the indigenous, and they have an older culture that's more similar to the Spanish culture, and they're sort of separate here because they have more of those European ideals and lifestyle. So that's really interesting. We'll show you guys some. So I like a good walk. It's just really soothing. I would recommend New Mexico. The people are very nice. I'm originally from Las Vegas, Nevada, and so we're very friendly and hospitable. And I thought that was just the Vegas desert culture, but apparently it's a New Mexican culture too. I mean, friendly yappers, and it's mostly West Coast white people. And I'm not gonna lie. So when I meet Americans when I'm abroad, and the first thing I ask is where they're from. And so this is to any Europeans who might be watching. Black people in America, we only like certain white people. Like West Coast whites are pretty cool for me. So in my experience, I'm from the West Coast. So I like a California, Oregon, Washington white. When it comes to the East Coast, love a New York white, love a Maryland white. Um, Outside of that, it's hit or miss. Louisiana whites can be fun too. But like outside of that, I know that's like 5 states, but like honestly, that's my limit. Outside of that, you get into people who are um, more white supremacists, even if they don't realize it, even if it's unconscious, and it's just a little annoying and nauseating. So it's funny if you might see me out and about and anywhere, the first thing I'll ask is where are you from. And today I sat at a community table because they're like, sit at the community table if you want to sit at this fancy New Mexico restaurant, and I did. And I had a California white who was super chill, got along great, and I had a Detroit white, so that was pretty cool. Two people from Detroit. And you got to know, Detroit has this thing because it's mostly black, and it was black and middle class. And so many white people who are from there, they're sort of like in the classism hierarchy, they get like looks, even though they're the coolest people out there, right? So that was really fun, and that's what you meet out here. So Santa Fe, New Mexico is in the. That's just me. So different types of black people have different types of white people that they chill with. But those are like my 5 states. If you're not from those states, I'm just gonna be like, whatever. It's gonna come out eventually, and so you just sort of try to not um, bless those people with your energy since they don't know how to act right. But so yeah, so Santa Fe has been really good. You get like a definitely a chill West Coast vibe. Um, Really beautiful. Food is Mexican, but with a little like it's a little different. They have a little flair that you start getting used to. Really good with the chile rellenos, the mole sauce. Um, they do that really good out here. So I came out here for my own spiritual reasons, but I wasn't going to recommend it or not. But I would say for everyone out there, I'd recommend it in Mexico. Black people who like to travel, if you haven't come, or if you have, leave your notes in the comments. But it's really cool. I'm going to spend some time in Taos, which is very spiritual. All of this is spiritual. Um, so there's a lot of energy and sacred energy in these places. And they have a really cool spiritual community. I don't know if it was, I meant to see it, but I went to a random park and it happened to have like a Zen meditation yoga center where different shamans from all around the world call in and they ask questions and do meditations, and people volunteer to live there. So if you guys are into that, they have like a Zendo and Zen meditation center in Santa Fe where they have acolytes or people who work for free for room and board, but they help out around the place. Um, its own little community center. They wear black. They look like karate vests, um, and whatnot. So I said, was it an accident or no? Like when you live in the 4D, it's not really accident. You're meant to see it. I did not participate, but maybe I'll go see if I will. But for anyone interested, that's out here. So it is like a different spiritual aspect of Americans who live here. I just thought it was really cool to see that center. And, I'm talking to the people. They're like, oh, we talked to shamans and asked them questions. And in my head, I'm just like, you could be talking to a high priestess and shaman right in front of you and not even know. But I don't put it out there because I'm not like in a competition. But it's just interesting that that's where they are. And I was led there. So I'm going to give you guys one more view. Now, I'm from Las Vegas, so I love desert landscaping. So when you guys think the desert, you may not think it looks like this, but it does. This is the desert. These are the kind of plants you have. So it's quite green with shrubs and wildflowers. And it can be, we have really beautiful trees that have all different sorts of colors. This is beginning part of October. In Charles. Let me know if you visited New Mexico. I'm really glad I came. There's a healing aspect to this that I grew up with in Vegas, and being on the East Coast, it's just the East Coast is just not like the West Coast of America. So like, there's a lot of stuff I've lost being on the East Coast, even though you gain and opportunities, you sort of lose sometimes in real true community and healing. That just, how does that take place in the middle of an apartment building, right? Like, of course you're going to heal, but then there's actually the earth that heals. And on the East Coast, you don't get to expose that. But out here on the West, and these adobe landscapes and these red rocks, there's so much natural healing that is just in the stones that, like, I got just being here, it heals you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go into nature. Just in your house, it's enough. That's how strong the energy is. So coming back reminds me of like, I gotta go home more often. But right now, I'm more elevated in understanding of energy work and sacred sites and of how Earth's energy. So if you guys notice me traveling a lot, I am sampling different Earth energy that have sacred spots. So if you and sacred practices, and being in those energies, you get to collect those practices that are already in you, and it comes about. So it's like collecting Pokemon cards, like the same with the energy of land. And so I realize now that I did not realize then. I knew I liked it and I felt calm and peaceful. What I realize now is that the energy itself holds healing. And these beautiful desert communities, desert indigenous communities, hold a lot of healing in the land itself. You don't have to do anything except just be there for a couple days. And that's something I was not aware of, that I am now appreciating about the Southwest United States, and that's in response to the land and the practices of that made those lands those sacred spots. So I'd recommend it just for that alone. I know everyone knows about Sedona, but I would put Santa Fe and get out on the nature trails.